What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, it's official now. Newly crowned undefeated Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr., 20 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'9" with a 68-inch arm reach, has signed his portion of the contract to face undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney. 27 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach, to face off June 4th in the States, June 5th in Australia on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. With that said, there will be a press conference tonight to officially announce the fight. You'll see Lou DiBella. You'll see legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum. You'll see Devin Haney all in studio, and you'll see George Kambosos Jr. on the screen via Skype or however he's going to do it in Australia. So finally, George Kambosos Jr. has done his part, signed the contract on his part, and now you'll see George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin "The Dream" Haney again, June 4th here in the States, June 5th in Australia, as they're about a day ahead of us. There was a lot of talk, obviously. George Kambosos Jr. was dragging his feet on signing the contract. This is a contract that he and his team, he signed. He's a Lou DiBella fighter. This is a contract that he and his team issued out to initially two-time Olympic gold medalist, three-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasyl "High-Tech" Lomachenko. But Lomachenko, obviously, we know the situation that he's faced with. He's in the Ukraine, defending his country, 10 toes down on that soil, defending it against Russia, and he's not coming back and thinking about the sport of boxing, okay? So with that said, the next best option in George Kambosos Jr.'s team was Devin Haney, and Devin Haney, which stated that he would take the same deal Vasyl Lomachenko took, and he stayed true to his word. Not only did he do that, but he signed a multi-fight deal with top-ranked Bob Arum, ESPN, to be able to showcase this fight as well on their network and on their platform. Now, obviously, we know should Devin Haney win this fight, he'll be undisputed. He'll be the 8th undisputed champion in the history of the sport of boxing to become undisputed and hold all 4 major sanction belts in the linealship. I know there's a lot of people that keep saying he'll be the 7th champion. He'll be the 7th. No, he's not going to be the 7th undisputed champion. He'll be the 8th. The reason being is that you will see Jermell Charlo, unified junior middleweight world champion, and WBO junior middleweight world champion Brian Castano face off against one another May 14th, okay? That is nearly a month before Devin Haney and George Kambosos fight in their highly anticipated undisputed rematch. So by the winner of that fight is going to be the 7th undisputed champion. Devin Haney, George Kambosos Jr. winner will be the 8th. There's you have Bernard Hopkins at 1. You had Jermaine Taylor, who beat Bernard Hopkins, at 2. You had Terrence Crawford at junior welterweight at 3. You have Oleksandr Usyk, who did it at cruiserweight, at 4. You have Josh Taylor, who did it and repeated at junior welterweight, at 5. And most recently, you have Saul Canelo Alvarez, who did it at super middleweight, at 6. So Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano winner, who is fighting May 14th, they will be the number 7 undisputed champion. And when Devin Haney fights the following month, when Devin Haney wins, should he win, he will be the 8th undisputed champion in the history of the sport of boxing to hold all 4 major sanction belts. Now, he will be the first lightweight in history to hold all 4 in the linealship. And the last one to do it was Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker, the late, great, legendary, iconic superstar Hall of Famer, Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker, and he only held 3 major sanction belts. That was before the World Boxing Organization, better known as the WBO, has become a major belt. So Sweet Pea did it with 3 belts at lightweight. He was the last one to do it. The winner of this fight is going to be the first one to do it with all 4 major sanction belts. Okay, so with that said, this fight is going to push forward. You're going to see a press conference tonight. Devin Haney has already started his obligations with Top Rank. Should Devin Haney win this fight, okay, he'll be in a position where he has to immediately rematch George Kambosos Jr. in Australia again. Then he beats George Kambosos in Australia. Then he gets the fight that he's been long waiting for against Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko, okay? That is the final fight, I believe, with his contract with Top Rank and Bob Arum, okay? So I'm sure that they would love for, because Bob Arum is not big on rematch clauses, I'm sure if Devin Haney was to beat George Kambosos Jr., they would love for Devin Haney to go straight away and defend his undisputed titles against Vasil Lomachenko immediately. But that's not going to happen, because George Kambosos Jr., against his own words, when he stated he did not want a rematch clause and absolutely was not possible, well, he put in a rematch clause, okay? So you're going to see a 2-fight deal. Devin Haney took significantly less money to make it, okay? Devin Haney is going to fight in Australia to the demands of George Kambosos Jr., and I can't wait to see this fight take place and play out, okay? So again, it's going to be on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus pay-per-view is going to be Undisputed. Again, it'll be June 4th in the States, June 5th in Australia, as they are a day ahead. Okay, so George Kambosos Jr., he set out this contract. George Kambosos Jr. called himself being able to play mind games with Devin Haney, try to get up under his skin, say that he needed to mull over the contract, look it over. Devin Haney's the B side. He has to do what he's told, so on and so forth, right? This is everything that George Kambosos Jr. has been stating, okay? We all know George Kambosos Jr. number one option was never Devin Haney. It was always Vasil Lomachenko, okay? But that didn't happen, obviously, because of the circumstances. And they didn't even want to go, I don't believe, was Devin Haney's the second choice, because they were actually pushed into this position because Bob Arum, ESPN and Top Rank, stated that if it didn't include a big fight, they didn't want no parts of George Kambosos Jr., who signed to Lou DiBella, who doesn't have a network in which to showcase his fighters on. Now, Lou DiBella recently, he's done a deal with Probellum, Richard Schaefer, so he could fight there, but he wants a huge platform. ESPN is the biggest sporting platform in the world. It's the worldwide leader in sports. Okay, Lou DiBella, he used to work with PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman, who have deals with Showtime, Showtime president and CEO of sports, Steven Espinosa, and also with Fox, okay, who's the mother channel to Showtime. Okay, so with that said, he doesn't no longer have that relationship and that door open. And so Lou DiBella is looking to have his fighters staged on a big platform, and ESPN is such. They represent that, but they didn't want any involvement if it wasn't a big fight. Okay, they're not willing to put out big money for George Kambosos Jr., who's relatively still unknown. He shocked the world against former unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez, November 27th. In New York, at Madison Square Garden. He shocked the world, where he was a huge underdog to lose that fight in Teofimo Lopez's backyard. Teofimo Lopez represents Brooklyn, New York, okay? So with that said, he's not a massive commodity in Australia. He's a big deal, but in the States, he's simply not, okay? He's relatively unknown. Now, he did beat the likes of Mickey Bay. He did beat Lee Selby. He did beat Teofimo Lopez. So he has beat some world champions, okay? But for the most part, he's relatively unknown, okay? So this is great news. There's been a lot of tug of war. There's been a lot of games being played, a lot of, posturing. But now we finally got to the point where we're going to officially get the announcement and the press conference and the build-up for this fight. Like I stated, Devin Haney, he's already started his obligation with Top Rank, ESPN, and Bob Arum. As part of his contract and the deal, an exclusive deal he's done with them. Now we know Devin Haney, he's also a solo artist, right? He works with his father, trainer, manager, and CEO of his company, Bill Haney, and DHP Promotion, Devin Haney Promotions. But in order for ESPN and Bob Arum to get behind this, and in order for George Kambosos to agree to fight him, they had to agree to this deal because, again, George Kambosos Jr., he holds the cards because he has all the belts and he has a legacy that Devin Haney wants, okay? And not George Kambosos Jr. particularly per se, but the history that Devin Haney's looking to accomplish And since Lou DiBella and George Kambosos Jr. don't have a network and they're looking in partnership with ESPN, then Devin Haney had to agree to that relationship as well. So finally, you'll get the announcement tonight officially on the press conference at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Road. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.